Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian families collection. In today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at two new additions to my collection, both of which are vintage. The one on the left here is the ceramic dinner service set, and the one on the right is the Speciality coffee set. This one's from the 90s and this one is from the early 2000s, but I'll get a bit more into the history of each set when we're taking a closer look at each of them. So let's start with the oldest one, which is on the left here. So starting with the ceramic dinner service set, this is from the Tomy era. As you can see here on the bottom, it's the UK edition. As for release year, I was looking through old catalogues and here it is here. This is the Tomy Collector's Catalogue, the 1992 edition, and that's the first time I saw it pop up, so I'm presuming it was released in 1992. I was also interested whether this was a Tomy exclusive or whether it also came out in Japan, or came out in Japan first and then Tomy distributed it here. So I was having a little look through my exhibition guide. That's this one, the 40th anniversary collection book, which shows you pretty much everything that was ever released in Japan. So here in 1985 we can see there is some ceramic sets, tea set, some dishes and such, and then over here a soup set, but not this particular set. So then I went along a bit further into the Urban Life range and you can see there's a similar looking set here from 1993. So we got this Welsh dresser in the Tomy range as well, but as a separate piece, which this dinner service was marketed to go with. So I'm presuming this is the Japanese equivalent. It has the plates, but not the rest of the stuff that comes in this set. So then I was flicking through a bit further, and by the time I got to 1999, it looks like the switch over to plastic has happened. So I don't think this particular format of set was ever released in Japan. So let's have a closer look at the box. It's the very classic Tomy packaging with the cartoony trees and houses. This packaging is super nostalgic. I love it. The box is a little bit beat up considering its age. And on the back here there's a nice little setup image of how it could look with some of that old classic green furniture. And here's the pieces themselves. There's 4 dinner plates, we've got a gravy boat and then a couple of pots and a jug. I really like the pattern on it. It's very simple, but the draw of these is that they're actually made of ceramic china. So here are the plates, 4 of the same size, so we'll just take a look at one of them. It's got this pretty blue floral pattern on it and then just white ceramic china. Reminds me a little bit of Delft pottery with the white and the blue. There's also a little gravy boat. Again, this is made of china. A pretty jug. And these are quite simple in their design, but I just love that they're real ceramic. And finally, a pot with separate lid. And these have a really nostalgic vibe for me. They're very, very quintessential Tomy. Then here we have the interior of my deluxe country mansion, also a Tomy era building. I'll show you the rest of it just going up. This is where my Marmalade Bear family live. And I've tried to decorate the whole building in Tomy era furniture. And this down here is the kitchen / dining room, and you can see that Welsh dresser piece just over here. So let's take that out and see how this ceramic tableware fits in there. The pieces that I'm using to decorate it at the moment, this is the 2021 dinnerware set. It's the navy blue diningware set, and then these pans up here are Tomy era copper pan set. I'd chosen this because it kind of replicated this in a more modern format, but now that we have the Tomy era china, let's switch it out. And there we are. And whilst this setup is a lot simpler than what I had before, I do like that it's error appropriate. I usually don't worry too much about that and mix up all the bits and pieces in my houses, but for this one house particularly, I was challenging myself to only use Tomy era furniture. And I think this is the last piece that I needed to replace. So it's now complete, apart from wallpapering and curtains, which I would like to do at some point in time. Let's go ahead and pop it back in the Marmalades kitchen. And there we are, perfect fit. I do have a few doll's house bits and bobs in here as well, like that little whisk and the candlesticks up on the mantle there. But for the majority, anything Sylvanian in here is Tomy era. I'm just so pleased I was finally able to find this ceramic set in complete condition and without the Welsh dresser, because I already had the Welsh dresser. You wouldn't think it would be too difficult to find, but I'd usually find plates here and there and not the whole thing together. So really happy to get it for a good price as well. And that completes my furnishing of this house, unless I see anything else little to go in there. So happy with that. Now let's have a look at the other set, which is this Speciality coffee set. This set is part of the Mori no Kitchen or Sylvanian kitchen restaurant range. Again, having a look for it in this book, we can see it's here and was released in 2001. And here it's shown with the chef from the Sylvanian kitchen restaurant and the rest of the range. Back over this page, some bits over here and here as well. So I think the idea is that you would use it with your Sylvanian kitchen restaurant. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to put it in my village yet, because I've got quite a few different cafes where it could go, or I might make something bespoke, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and take a look at the box. It's got this very cute packaging with the turquoisey green. Cute little images of food all around. This says Speciality coffee set. Epoch and a nice colourful logo there. Here's that image that we saw in the book. A little bit of blurb about Sylvanian families. On the back we've got a breakdown of all the pieces that come in the set. Some warnings and such. Same on the other side. On the bottom you can see a 1 here that denotes 2001, which matches what we saw in the book. So let's go ahead and get it open. There's a ton of small accessories to look at with this one, and you'll watch me fail because I don't know most of the technical names. But to start, there's this bag of coffee beans. This is a fabric sack and it's padded inside. Feels like stuffing, a bit like the pillows. Love the detail on this, love the print and the coffee beans picture. Then we have the coffee grind itself. So this is the drawer where you'd pull out and get the grinds, I think. And then it says coffee on the side here, and this part actually turns around. Really love the double colour detailing on there with the brown and the red. It's actually really beautifully detailed all over with lots of detail called out in different colours. Then we have a coffee pot here and a part to go on the top. I think this is filter coffee, and that can sit on the top like so. Love the butter yellow colour on this. I think that's really pretty. If we have a closer look, you can see the coffee in there with the presumably filter. Coffee lovers, don't come for me. I can't drink coffee. It triggers migraines for me. So I don't know all that much about it. I know a lot more about tea. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm saying things wrong. Then I think this is an espresso pot, and you would put it on the hob directly, hence why it looks like it's made of metal. And with this there's a separate lid part that can come on and off. And also another filter part, which I think can sit in the top here or be used with multiple of the different accessories here. But I love the detail on this net part. It really looks like a sieve. You've got the coffee grinds in there. Then we have another coffee pot. Love this one, it's really pretty, cream and red with this lovely floral pattern on this side, and a little matching lid as well. For that one, there's 2 mugs in the same colour scheme. They are identical. And there's also this piece. I'm not sure what this is. I wonder if it's maybe a scoop for putting the coffee beans or instant coffee or whatever it is, wherever it needs to go, so in the pot, etc. Then last few pieces, there's a couple of little saucers, this time in a blue and cream coloration. These are pretty, I like the detail of the blue rims. To go with those, 2 prepared coffee cups. So again, they're in the cream and blue coloration, and you can see the coffee in there with presumably cream or something like that on the top. So fiddly because they're so tiny. And then the last 2 pieces, we have this teeny tiny little blue and cream milk jug. So cute, I love that. You can see how small it is compared to the cups. And then a matching sugar pot in the same coloration as well. I love how tiny these are, and yet they still have these gorgeous painted details on them on the lid and on the handles. The lid is one piece with this one, so that doesn't come off, but I think it's so tiny you'd probably end up losing it anyway. And there we go, that's everything that comes with the coffee set. Once I work out exactly which of my cafes this one's going to end up in, I'll try and update you. But otherwise, that's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed looking at these 2 vintage sets with me. I love how even just that 10-year gap between the 2 sets shows such a difference in the level of detail we were getting in the range. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.